To keep this short, long story short, before Evanston Reparations was passed, everyone was in support. Everyone was behind this movement. I was behind it. I personally went to Robin Rue Simmons at Gibbs Morrison, the first reparations meeting that we had in person at the community center, Gibbs Morrison, on Church and Dodge here in Evanston. And I went to her and I shook her hand and I said, whatever support you need, I am here, whatever you need. She came and supported me in some legislation that I was working on, and it did pass. And I appreciated that. She came and spoke at our press conference. And so she was putting together a press conference with Henry Wilkins here because they were looking into a possible, STEM school and education. So I helped put that press conference together because I believe in Henry most definitely. And I was supportive of him opening up a STEM school. And Robin was a part of it. And I told her whatever she needed, I was there. So I did that. And all along, I was interviewing people and, blasting out, this is awesome, this is great, Evanston's going to do reparations. And I had Reverend Dr. Michael Neighbors on Evanston Live TV and talking to him, Dino Robinson of Shorefront Legacy. I mean, I was excited. Everyone was excited. But then there was a shift. There was a shift. Because all of a sudden, words like bank loans and getting qualified came into the mix. And then I got confused. And so I had an interview with Reverend Dr. Michael Neighbors, who is one of the stakeholders. We have stakeholders for reparations here in Evanston. They're all self-appointed. So I asked him, now, I like to get the voices of people out there in the community. And one of the concerns that came up, and so I said, okay, Pastor Neighbors can clear this up or explain it in terms of the housing. And I know you said nothing is etched in stone right now. It's still just conversation and making sure that everybody is heard.
Yes.
With the housing money, people are wondering if it'll come to a point where Black families have to be pre-qualified to get a piece of that reparations for the housing.
Yeah, a good question. And I'm only going to give you my opinion now, so I can't say that I'm speaking on behalf of the committee. Okay. If we are sharing dollars, reparations dollars for home ownership or for housing, right? For Blacks in the community, then what that means to me, I would think, obviously, you have to be pre-qualified. You have to be eligible to purchase a home. If we're going to be giving money to help you with the down payment, to help you with this or that, then there has to be some evidence that you're being pre-qualified, because we don't necessarily want to just give money out and have people do whatever they want to do with it. To send money to their cousin Pete, who lives in, Lansing, Michigan somewhere because of this or that. That's not what this is for. The reparations money is for helping Black people that are connected and living in Evanston to remain in Evanston and to create opportunities for them to have home ownership.
It's like, that doesn't even make sense. I'm confused. Am I not understanding exactly like what's happening? And I was just like, what? I talked to Dino. He said the same thing. Well, they're going to be working with people, make sure that they have the credit to get property here in Evanston. And, so they get approved for these bank loans. And I was like, wait, this is reparations. I was like, this isn't how. No. No. So those first few reparation meetings where everybody was 100% behind, and Robin Rue Simmons had asked the people who attended those meetings, well, what would you like to see for your reparations? And yes, of course, number one was direct cash payments, just like other groups received. The Jewish community received direct cash payments. Some of them are still getting paid until the day they die. Of course, it's not nearly enough money to cover the amount of pain and terror that their community went through, but it was something, and they were receiving a payment until their passing. The Japanese received direct cash payment. So, for some reason, with the Black community, why does ours have to be a bank loan? Okay. It just didn't make sense. So, in those earlier meetings, and we were talking about what we would, you know, aside from direct cash payments, yes, property, housing, land, all that came up. But I promise you, not one person in that room was thinking bank loan when they were saying housing. Nobody was thinking of a bank loan. Reparations is supposed to be, you know, a harm repaired, not just the typical, well, you better get your credit up so you can get approved, so you can get your reparations. No, I promise you, no one in Gibbs Morrison that day was thinking my reparations in terms of housing should be bank loans. Nor were people thinking my reparations should be home improvement, some new windows, paint my garage. That should be my reparations for centuries of terrorism done to generations of my family. Some new windows should suffice. I promise you, no one was thinking that. And in terms of the home improvement, because that came up later, um, when they saw the heat, the pushback to the bank loans, they kept that though on the docket, that mortgage lenders would make money off of reparations, and the banks would make money off of your reparations. That decision was made. They didn't care what the people thought. Didn't care. This was how it was going to go down. And so when they brought in home improvement into the mix, then I was thinking, okay, well, everyone's supposed to get $25,000. So if you just use $3,000 on some little minor repairs here, then you can pocket the rest. So I was like, okay, well then that might work. Then they can pocket the rest of their cash and go do what they want to do with their reparations. Well, no, that's not how that was going to work. Mm-mm. You mean the recipients hold their own money? Absolutely not. That money must go to somebody else's pocket, not to the Black people. Mm-mm. No, that's not how that's going to work. Mm-mm. So I kept asking later in these reparation meetings, so who pockets the remaining money if they don't use all the money for their home improvement? Nobody would answer that question. So when they tell you that we answer questions in the reparations meeting, inaccurate. I still ain't got the answer to that question. It's been months, like a year. It's been a year. Mm-mm. No answer to that question. Where did that money? Who gets that money? So they were like, well, it's up to $25,000. Oh, well, really, the media, the country thinks it's $25,000. I got family members calling me saying, hey, congratulations, you got $25,000 for your reparations. No, I didn't. And majority of the Black people here in Evanston won't get anything for how it's set up.